me just get started here by introducing myself. I'm Patrick Phillips. I'm the founder and CEO of American Business Systems. And as our logo shows there on the screen, we've been in business now for 20 years. Started back in 1994, teaching and training people how to get into the medical billing business. So also want to let you know that I am a published author. I have two books that are out right now in the marketplace. You can find these on Amazon.com or in any major bookstore. How to Reprogram Yourself for Success and Cash Crunch to Cash Flow. The one on the right is a marketing tool that our licensees are able to use. It's a paperback book, 174 pages. You can actually buy this on Amazon for $14.95. We let our licensees buy this from us at our printing cost, which is about $3 a copy, and use this to educate the doctors about our services. I'm on the editorial board of BC Advantage magazine. That's Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. And we have an article that I published recently called How Doctors Can Cut Their Billing Costs by up to 50%. So you can get a copy of that at no cost by just contacting your ABS rep, the person who sent you the email about this webinar, and we'll send you a copy of that PDF of that article. I'll give you a hint. It's by outsourcing their billing to you that the doctors can cut their costs by up to 50%. All right, so who is American Business Systems? Real briefly, for those of you who've never been on one of these webinars, we teach people all across America from every background, every educational background, how to get into their own business, doing the medical billing for doctors. That is, filing the insurance claims to the insurance companies and to Medicare. So we've had people from, again, every age bracket, every ethnic background, every educational background, retired folks, military people. Folks, it doesn't matter what your background is because we can teach you everything you need to know to get started in this wonderful and profitable business. Basically, it boils down to this. Here's what we do. We get more doctors, more dollars faster. And they love it because, again, it's increasing their revenue. And we make money, they make money. It's a win-win for everybody. Ours is a cloud-based system. That just means that you don't have to have any software at all, nothing on your computer. You basically log in using any web browser, just like you're on a web browser now watching this presentation, and you're actually doing the medical billing through our system with our servers hosting all the information. That makes it very secure, very safe. It's always backed up nightly. It's very secure. It's HIPAA compliant and all those things that make it a wonderful way to run a business. Now, if you haven't been to our website, here it is right here. It's absystems.com. That's actually at the bottom of your screen there. And be sure and click on one of the orange buttons on our site there after you've browsed around a little bit, and it will take you to what's called the virtual brochure. So this tells about our opportunity, how we help you get clients, the training, the support, the technology behind everything, and goes into much, much more detail than we have time for today's webinar. You can also do your due diligence on us as a company out there. Of course, one of the things you can check is the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau. We have an A+ rating there. And so that's the best rating you can get. And so that should tell you a lot about us as a company. We do what we say we're going to do. You're also welcome to visit us at any time. We're in a little suburb of Fort Worth called Keller, Texas. There's our actual address there if you want to Google it and find us and see what the building looks like there. We'll be glad to entertain you. Anytime you want to come down, just let us know you're coming. We'll meet you at the airport. We'll pick you up. We'll take you out to lunch. We'll bring you here to the office and let you meet everybody and ask all the questions you want if you'd like to do that kind of thing. Now, we do live training here in Dallas at a hotel, like I mentioned, and the next one coming up is in September. Looks like the last week of September, the 22nd through the 26th. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the entire webinar. Meanwhile, let's jump right into our interview with one of our licensees who has actually gone through the due diligence you're going through and has gone through our training and now is experiencing his own business and his own support. Chris McGaughey. Chris, you with us?
I am. How you doing, Patrick?
I am doing terrific. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy business there, Chris, to get here with us on this webinar.
Hey, I tell you what, I wouldn't have missed it. Thanks for the invite.
Well, you're welcome. You heard some of these, I guess, before you became a licensee, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, I did. My wife and I, it took her a little bit more convincing. I kind of, when I first saw Eric OJ, I had the pleasure of doing. He actually did the initial talk with me, you know, and went over the system and everything, so I was pretty much sold. My wife, who's actually been in the medical field for 20 years, she's HIM manager and has been an RH IT certified. She's a little bit more skeptical, but we eventually won her over, and we're glad we've done.
Well, that's great. If I remember, you came back towards the last part of last year, right?
Yes, we became licensed in December of 2013.
Oh, super. Okay, so it's been what, a little over half a year, I guess. Yeah, about a half a year.
Yes, a little over half a year.
All right, so I'm going to throw another slide at Chris to let people know that they can type in questions. I will read the questions here as they come in, folks, live, and I'll be glad to read your question out loud to Chris. So this is your opportunity to ask a real licensee, somebody who's out there actually doing the business, and like I said, who's been through our week-long training class here in Dallas, and you can ask him directly anything you want, and I'll just pass that on to him here during the webinar. Okay, so Chris, let me just start by asking you, where you're at located. What state are you in right now?
Currently in Houston, Texas.
Houston, all right. For some reason, I looked in the database. Were you somewhere else when you first signed up?
I was in Conway, Arkansas. That's where my wife and I, where we lived, and we've relocated. And I still have my business address there for obvious reasons, of course. But yeah, we are relocated here to Houston.
Okay, well, so how do you like the humidity down there?
Well, you know, I'm originally from Houston, and actually from Baytown, and it is good to come home, and you know, Houston has a plethora of clinics and surgery centers, different types of things, and so you know, I feel like I'm in the mecca part of the clinic world.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what it is about Houston, but it is a huge medical area, medical center. Maybe there's a lot of retired oil tycoons down there or something.
Well, I don't know about oil, but I know there's definitely a clinic at every corner. So my car has been burning up a lot of gas here lately.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there in Houston. So, what was your background, Chris, before becoming a licensee?
I worked for, I was in procurement for some years, worked in the supply chain as well, and with logistics. So definitely varied backgrounds. I've been a business major and been in management pretty much the better part of the life. And you know, I've been looking at ones that kind of own my own company, and looked at different options, several things, and nothing stuck. You know, nothing just jumped out. And I kind of looked at my wife, who's kind of been doing it for years in that field, and you know, glory be to God, that's the route we took, and we're glad we did.
So, did you say your wife was working full time at the time, or?
Yes. She has been a HIM manager for you know, for a hospital or whatnot, and actually Houston Hospital District. And then, like I said, when we were in Arkansas as well too, she worked in that position. And like I said, she's RHIT certified. So pretty much what we do, you know, she's been in health information technology, and so I basically stopped looking at what I could do in my different business field and actually went to the medical field. And yes, it has been a blessing.
Here's a question, actually, that kind of ties in with that. Christina says, what sold you on doing this business? What were the key factors that influenced your decision?
Well, I don't know who asked that question, but that's a great question, and it was really easy. It was timing. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Back when I started, you know, the medical field, whether it was a hospital all the way down to a clinic, EMR, meaningful use stage 2, and those are some terms that you folks will get, but clinics were scrambling to get ICD-10 compliant. They were a lot of practices are still on paper. They don't have a complete EHR system, which is an EMR and a practice management system. They were not set up for that, and unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that this was going on with whether it's ACA or Obamacare, all of the stipulations that were on clinics at the time. I really wasn't aware of that until I really jumped in here, and really, when it hit me. The big picture was, oh my gosh, this is the perfect timing, because all of these folks have to get compliant. Otherwise, they'll be penalized going in the years forward. So now, what has transpired, Patrick, as you know, now that they've delayed ICD-10 for another year,
yeah.
So it's kind of a lot of the doctors or the management groups of these clinics or whatnot, they've kind of rested on their they've rested again. They're not as quick to jump out there and look at an EMR or practice manager or a billing company, but it's next year they're going to have the same problem. So
yeah.
This craze is going to be back again of trying to. I just want to let everyone know that the only competition that's out there is you. We are our only competition. There's so many. There's more more clinics that are out there that need our service than we can check a stick at. I'm just being honest with you. It's up to you how quickly you want to grow your business. That's how hard you want to work at it. So
that's a good way to look at it. Is that the window of opportunity really has been extended. So now that October 1st is almost here, and the ICD-10 new codes are going to come along October of next year, that gives really basically a window of opportunity to go out there now and tell the doctors, okay, what have you done? You thought it was coming in this October and you didn't get ready. What are you doing right now to make sure that you're ready for those codes? Because if I understand it right, Chris, the codes that they now use, which are thousands of codes, of course, they will be like 10 times as many codes with ICD-10.
That is correct. They will be subjected to more codes, which ultimately it's better on diagnosing the patient. The patient and any other doctors or referring doctors will know exactly what's going on with the patient. The patient will know as well. And so ICD-10 is going to be a great thing, but it's perfect for folks who are in the field that we're in. Because it's timing. Now, if you go ahead on, because you know me, I love this company. I can run on. So,
well, that's good. I'm glad you love us. It's a good thing that we're in partnership here together, huh?
That's right. That's right.
So, Chris, you personally then didn't have any background in medical at all?
Not at all.
Yeah, that was one of the questions here Anthony asked about. He says, if I have no billing experience, how would you answer the question? I guess he's talking about from a prospective client. How long have you been in the medical billing business? And what would you say to somebody like that? What do you say?
That question gets asked quite a bit, and frankly, as Patrick and I talked, and as you folks who decide to come on, you will be in partnership. Like I had a team of us who, when we all sat down and went through the training together, we did become a team. I actually have relationships with licensees who came before me, and they actually mentored me, and has helped me along the way. Now, the fact that we're a team, I don't mind telling a potential client that when I get asked that question, I'm a part of 1,700 medical billing licensees. When they ask me a question about the billing, I let them know the amount of people that we have who are licensees, who are medical billers who are out there. So that's where that term experience comes from. And honestly, what ABS has to offer speaks for itself. Once you get in there, and they will actually show you, and during the training it really, really helps with getting business. And you folks will see that. So once that initial conversation is over, and then you get into the webinar or whatnot, and they see for themselves, like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. The other part, your billing and that stuff will come. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat and say that this is easy. No, it's, if anything, I mean, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to know your craft, for sure. But ABS does a wonderful job of getting you there and helping you along the way too. So a wonderful support system as well too. So anytime I'm the CEO, and I don't mind letting folks know that of what my status is, but I always defer to my team. If there's ever a question that I don't know, I'm just open and honest and say, I'm sorry, folks. It's not my role. I will get that question answered. I have someone on my team that can answer that. Whether it's a technical person or whatnot, and there's an ABS person that's just a question or a phone call away that can help provide that answer for you pretty quick. So you're not alone in this business.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Chris. Is that you, as you said there, you can tell them I'm a part of the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies. We do thousands of claims for hundreds of doctors from coast to coast, every day. And in the corporate sense, that's true. Our network does process thousands of claims every minute of the day. So it's wonderful to be able to say that you're a part of something bigger. Not that you couldn't start this business on your own if you really knew what you were doing, but it's just better not to have to reinvent the wheel, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Exactly
Yeah,
right.
I even do that still when people ask me a question that I really don't know. If it's a technical thing, especially about our software and so forth, I just tell them, "Look, I'm sorry, but I'm the CEO. I don't know much about that subject."
Actually, Patrick, that's where I got it from.
You heard me say that, huh? But
I heard you say it.
Yeah, but I always follow up with, but I have people. I have people.
That's right. That's right.
Somebody on my team, believe me, knows the answer to every question that you could possibly ask.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, out of all the businesses that you looked at out there, Alan is asking this question. What made you choose ABS?
Well, I'll tell you what made me. I would say when I looked at I don't even remember what the name was. It was more of when I talked to Eric OJ, and I don't know, you folks probably know Eric OJ. Patrick, what is Eric's title actually?
Well, Eric is actually our director of research and development. Yeah.
Okay. Had the privilege of talking to him, and actually when he walked me through the system, and actually walking me through some of the processes from the stages I was sitting at, it was so easy. Very comprehensive system. Eric really just made me feel at ease with the model, the business model, and what ABS, what they had to offer. It did not take me. I didn't have to go and research and look at certain things. And remember, my wife, I take her advice very, very seriously, and the fact that she's been in this field for so long, and when she saw it, and when she seen basically how easy it is for the front office staff to use, to schedule, to she seen what the providers or the doctors would have to do to generate their soap notes and different things like that, procedure coding, and how just there are things that even in hospitals that this system was able to provide that hospitals' EMRs couldn't provide. And those were just some key selling points for me. And so when she and I sat down with Eric, and Eric was able to show us this stuff, it really became a no-brainer for us. I didn't have to go and look in certain areas. I actually, well, you could just say that I went to the well and only the first time, and that's all I needed to see.
So you're saying that Eric actually gave you a demo of the actual our iCloud iClaim system.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, good. Well, yeah, that's sold a whole lot of people once they see how high tech and leading edge the technology is that we have. That's a big reason why a lot of people join us. Chris, we've had I don't know how many, maybe a half a dozen uh, people who already run a medical billing business out there that have come through our training because they realize that they really don't know what they're doing as far as running a business. They know how to do medical billing, the technical side, but they don't know how to, build the business and get more clients.
Right.
That's one of the
Right.
people come with us. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We've got several people here. So I'll just kind of sum up that basically they're asking about your clients. Tell us about, I know that you've just got one major client right now that you've signed up, right? And I don't even know when you started doing your marketing. Was it delayed for some reason, Chris, after December?
Well, it was. With any business, you got to have startup capital. You got to have some things in place, and I was a late bloomer. I was working and kind of doing the business part time before I really jumped out there. And I was in Arkansas during that time, and I hit the street as well, and I was trying to get some of the business. But you don't understand. I have the gift of the gab, and it's hard for me to really just really follow. I'm more of a leader. So I say, well, it's kind of ironic that I really didn't get no, I didn't get any business in Arkansas. And what happened was I got to looking at it, and I got to really getting into the training, and they mentioned about sales reps, and I looked at that, and I looked at I brought on actually a couple sales reps. I think I have about close to 30 or 40 reps right now who are all over, and I actually had one who was in Wisconsin and who brought in a little. It was actually a two provider practice out of Wisconsin, and that was my first client. But it was due to that rep. I've never stepped foot in Wisconsin ever before until that time. I eventually went in and met. That's great. There's some great practice out there, and but it was bringing on sales reps that has really helped with my business.
Yeah, and one of the things that people are asking here, I see a couple of people saying, Christina, for example, says, what were your ramp up costs? To get started, besides our licensing fee, of course, did you have to buy or spend a lot of money on other things, Chris?
No. I with the licensing fee of what ABS charged, it actually covered. There was several marketing material in that, the actual marketing manual, the training. There has been some outside costs when you're dealing with your office, getting your office set up, your business cards, things of that nature. But ultimately, no, the startup costs really covered you for your marketing materials and so forth. So now what you do as far as it depends on what with the sales reps out there. There's my sales reps are 1099s, so I basically covered their business cards and the flyers or whatnot that they use for marketing materials in their areas.
So they're all independent contractors. Does that mean
Yeah,
you pay them just on a commission basis?
on commission only, yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way to go, isn't it? That way you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
withholding taxes or anything. You just give them the money and let them handle all that. Yeah.
definitely.
Um, she's asking, was ABS a big help in marketing ramp up period? You mentioned that you had some coaching from some of our other licensees out there. You want to kind of tell them about that?
Most definitely. I think I mentioned my wife and her skepticism at first, and the little that she had. We got introduced to the Clarks, Tracy and Chris Clark with Triple E Medical Solutions. They're also ABS licensees who had went, I think, maybe a year or two prior. But you know, I don't know what it was that made me look at them. But one thing I found out was Tracy is also she has a RHIT as well, and her and my wife kind of hit it off really big. But they have been just a true godsend to us. Really kind of took us under their wing and really we even today. I mean we talk pretty much every other day about different techniques, different things that are working. You know, since the ICD-10 thing has happened, you know, different things that goes on in healthcare. We're constantly bouncing things off of each other, and she's in contact with a lot of licensees in her class who came on with her, as well as I am as well too. We have JLM here in Houston that they and I kind of collaborate on a few things in different territories here in Houston as well too. Some things that we're looking at doing, and so it's the training just doesn't stop. I mean, you can pick up the phone at any time and contact Casey. You can contact any of the folks at ABS that they've got a wonderful support team that's able to help you at any time. You know, doing any of your engagements when it comes down to contractual things or whatnot. They have several different methods of support systems that are out there that they actually help and walk you through it. You know, until you're comfortable enough to know kind of what you're doing. So even though when you come in and get trained, you're not alone. They stay with you through each engagement every time. Because you know, I mean, pretty much, I guess you guys probably were like me, not having any medical billing experience, but let me tell you, it comes. So.
Oh yeah, a lot of it is well, it's like we tell people, we certainly can't teach you everything you need to know about any industry in 5 days. Anybody who says they can, they're lying to you, right? But you can go to college, for 4 years and come out with a piece of paper and still not have you know, all the knowledge you need to get a job.
Exactly.
Thing. You learn a lot of it on the job, don't you? So yeah.
Exactly.
So Chris, it sounds like you were getting some personal coaching there from Tracy. And for those of you who don't know, we actually have a coaching program where, you know, if you need some help or want to be coached and handheld through some things, we've got licensees who we pay for their time, spending time with you. And usually it's on a phone call or I don't know. Did y'all do it by Skype or something? Did you, Chris? Or
yeah, well, I have, she has I believe GoToMeeting, and we do it through webinars or a phone call. So,
yeah. Yeah, it's just like we're using this technology right here. And I think I can turn this on. I'm not sure how this works here in this hotel room, but anyway, I can turn on the camera and actually be on a video call with people one-on-one. The technology today is just great out there, isn't it, to be able to do this?
Oh, cannot do it without, especially when you're talking about having reps in different cities, different areas or whatnot. You know, that's the only way we can communicate. You know, and is through the technology, of course, Skyping, or I use RingCentral webinars, and so it works hand in hand. So.
Hey, a couple of people have asked here. Anthony and Nikhil says, how much do you pay in commissions to sales reps? How does that work? I know everybody's different, Chris. So what do you do though?
Well, I basically, as you guys will find out, if we have a setup fee that when we sign on a medical or clinical whatnot practice, we're going to charge a setup fee, and depending on now ABS, they, like I said, there's a formula that you would use to determine what those amounts are. I'm going to pay that sales rep who is facilitating that account for me. Now, I basically went in to greet the doctor, got the contract signed, got the first initial check, and then I went back to my business. But those sales reps are constantly going to, they might buy lunch, they might go and take donuts or whatnot, but they're basically going and facilitating that, the account for me. I would pay them, I pay 25% of the setup fee, and then I give them 10% of 10% of the gross of the money that's paid every month.
Oh, well, that's great. They can build up a residual income then on their own.
Yeah, that's exactly
What,
correct.
do you mind if I ask, Chris, what did you get on your setup fee for that client?
For surgical associates, we let's see here. I believe it was 6,000 initially. It was two provider practice, 6,000, and for the setup fee, and then we get a $600 a month access fee for the system, as well as 3.5% commission per claims.
For all the money that's collected, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's pretty good. You're covering everything and making sounds like I don't know, $2 or $3,000 a month there on that one account. Yeah.
It is. It's not bad. It it was my first one, and I probably could have done it a little bit differently. It's definitely probably worth more percentage wise, but when it's the first one, you're just trying to get in the door.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what it takes. But you are getting those fees that cover all your costs, so you really are coming out pretty sweet there on that actually. Now, so it took you a while to get that client because you moved to Houston, and then of course I guess had to get kind of ramped back up there.
Right, that's exactly right, and Patrick, when I guess we've been here now for around 2.5 months here in Houston, really just trying to get acclimated. I haven't hit the street. I'll be honest with you. I know I could have done a lot more. Those reps were out there working hard, but they also have some other things going on as well too. So, but the opportunities have been out there. I have probably, I think, about 10 or 12 contracts that are out there now that where we've got clients who are thinking about it in the process, of looking at it. So at any moment, some could jump off where we might have 10 more potentials that are happening out there. So the thing of it is, here in Houston, like I mentioned before, it's just a plethora. I actually had a physical therapist out in Baytown yesterday, and he does not have an EMR, and I forgot he's with one particular group where he paid $15,000 just in upgrades. And so well, I guess what I'm trying to tell you guys is there is so much potential that's out there. I'm just now, my wife and I are just now getting settled here in a house, and I'm about to hit the ground here running, as well as my team. So I have no doubt it will take off.
Well, it's you certainly have your pipeline filled, they call it, with prospects, and you've got those contracts out. And if you, it's just a numbers thing, really. We've had licensees sign up their first doctor that they handed a proposal to, and then others have had to, put out some proposals to several to get somebody signed up. But it's just really a matter of, if you don't give up, you will eventually get a client. And of course, once you have that,
Right.
you have them for life, unless you just really screw up bad. As long as you do a good job for them, they'll be with you forever.
That's right, Patrick. And the market is shifting back to where we were when I came on. People are scrambling now again, trying to get ready for the following year. Being in compliancy. So
well, even the Obamacare, the ACH is actually there's a lot of people who have signed up for that, but not near as many as they were expecting. So there's still a huge influx of patients that will be coming to see doctors, people who don't have insurance now, who are going to get insurance. And once they do, the doctors are really, they're all feeling that they're going to be overwhelmed, with the visits. It's bound to increase their time that they have to see patients. So all the more reason for them to outsource their billing, huh?
Exactly.
Now, somebody, Irene asked if we assist with securing marketing representatives. Irene, we teach you how to do that. We have a whole session in our live training where we teach you how to locate them and find them and hire them and train them and how to pay them and all of those details. But other than just giving you some personal coaching, one-on-one coaching, we really don't do any advertising or find those reps. We'll just tell you exactly how to do it, and it's been very successful for many licensees. Our instructor this week, Chris, is here. Cynthia Anderson. She's from Arizona, and she has used sales reps very successfully to build her business as well.
Oh yeah, she's the all-time great.
Yeah.
Miss Cynthia. Excellent
She,
training.
oh, yeah, she taught your class, didn't she, back in
Yeah, she sure did. She
last
sure
year?
did.
All right, let's see. Christina is asking, does this business require a traditional office, or can this be a work from home business?
It can be. It's up to you are the CEO. I of course I stay in my slippers, folks. So mine is out of my house.
Yeah. Most licensees stay at home. There's really no reason to open an office unless you just feel like you need to get away from, 6 kids or something at home.
Exactly.
Because the doctors don't come see you at your office, you go see them.
That's
They don't
that's
care.
exactly right.
Nowadays, there used to be a stigma on home-based businesses, but nowadays, I bet half of the businesses out there are run from people's homes.
All of the licensees that I went in with, yes, they're out of their homes for sure.
Yeah.
So
Now, Chris, Anthony is asking about how many did your customers sign up have to transition from an existing outsourcing agreement? In other words, did the clinic that you signed up, or it was a surgery group, wasn't it?
yes,
Did
yes.
have they outsourced already, or were they doing their own billing?
They had an group that they were outsourcing with. That here again, it's did not have the technology that we have at our disposal. They were not transparent, and I mean to talk ill toward anyone, but they just didn't have the capabilities of handling the billing for this this client. Their denial rate and rejection rate was through the roof. Was over 25%.
Wow.
And as you know, we have a 2% rejection rate, and to be honest with you, that is, I believe we just have to say that,
Yeah.
not to be perfect.
No, that's right. It's less than that actually nationwide, but
Exactly.
2%, less than 2% is a good way to put it. And boy, that means more money in the doctor's pocket for sure. If they're getting 25% of them rejected, and we get that down to 2%, that's found money.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And as you folks will see when you come aboard, you have tools that you'll be able to show that those potential providers or clients exactly where their revenue is currently compared to when they bring you on as billers, where it will be. And and when they see the sizable difference, believe me, they will think twice about, and we really doing the right thing. Maybe we need to give these folks a try.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way to look at it. Um, so what was your Anthony's asking, what was your biggest challenge with in getting in front of potential customers? Now, this client that's the surgery group, it's what, two providers you said?
Yes,
They, of
yes.
course, were brought to you by your sales rep. I wonder, did he have a connection there, or I wonder how that came about? Did he just cold call on them, or?
Well, this potential, actually, this sales rep actually lived here in Houston. He knew one of the nurses who worked in the hospital, and he called the nurse, and the nurse did some digging around, and that hospital actually was connected to the surgery center, and found out that they outsourced their billing. They were looking for potential EMR. They needed to get in, be compliant for next year. They wanted me for use phase 2, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, it's so interesting to hear how licensees find their first client because it's always something that you just never would put together in your own mind. It's sometimes very convoluted like that. But the real fact is that it comes through people who know people. And we teach, of course, as you know, Chris, how to connect with people in your community to find
Yeah,
good referral sources. So we've mentioned
that's
cold calling, a couple of times. I don't know about you, but that's the worst thing that I could possibly think of doing is just cold calling. Now, we do teach them how licensees like yourself, Chris, of course, how to go out and make direct contact, but you're not trying to sell anything, are you?
it's ironic. I did my first direct contact in a long time, you guys, yesterday. And that's one of the first things I said. I'm not trying to sell you anything. And one of the ladies at the front, they're like, oh yeah, he's trying to sell us something because they always say that.
Yeah.
He happened to be a good friend of mine who owns the practice, and so another reason why me coming back home, of course, is I'm from here. I have some folks I went to high school with who's done well, and they're actually in need of my help, and that's how I look at it. If when we do this, we analyze the practice. We basically don't go in and say, hey, you need to buy, look into our system. You need to buy this system. We go in and analyze the practice to see if there's any additional services that we have to offer that can help better that practice. And here's a friend of mine who owns a few physical therapy centers, and I did exactly that. I went and talked to him and actually went and more or less interviewed him as opposed to looking at it as here's what I have to offer. Because our main goal is there's going to be trustworthy, there's integrity, and with this, and I want to help my friend better himself. If he's losing money or leaving money on the table, or if I can help him with any one of our services that we offer, then I want to do that and let him know what we have to offer. So that's how I approach it.
Yeah, and of course those are the best kinds of prospective clients. Of course, are people that you've had some knowledge over. They know you, warm market basically. But for people who don't know anybody that might be connected to a medical practice, there are ways to connect with other people in your area through what's called business networking. We have a whole session on that where you can connect with people who know people, and that's the second best type of referral is somebody who knows somebody already that refers you to them.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. My rep who signed my first one in Wisconsin, he was one of my good friends from high school. He actually he was wasn't actually in the medical field. He played professional football. And he and I reconnected, and he was doing some things with some hospitals, and we got to just talking, and lo and behold, that it was just a phone call. So he's a full-time rep with me now, and so a lot of it is just by connections, picking up the phone and making the call, not being afraid of success.
All right. Sam says, hey, Chris, why would doctors have to choose this thing? They might have already established a different or similar method. I guess he means of doing their billing. Why would they need a change? Excuse me, a change.
Well, the change is not necessarily well, let me just say this. That is that's dealing with healthcare, period. If these clinics are not in compliance with the new laws and rules and regulations that are out there, they have no choice but to change. Otherwise, they're penalized here in the coming years. So there's a big push right now for, this is the last stage for municipal use, stage 2, where you're basically trying to get their clinics are trying to make sure their EHR or their EMR, practice management system, is up to par and is up to at least standard to where they can get government funding. I think is it 12,000 per provider, Patrick? That's remaining.
That's right.
So that's free money out there if you just have a EMR that's efficient to be awarded that money. So you got folks who are scrambling trying to get that. But now what's going to happen is, I believe it's next year, if they're not, or maybe 2015, if they're not in compliance by that time, then they'll be charged 1% of their gross, I believe, and then up until 5 years, up to 5% until they get a comparable EMR. So the time is now. It's a perfect time for you to come into this business. And yes, we have 1,700 licensees out there, but I guarantee you we're not overlapping each other because there's so many clinics that are out there, and you wouldn't believe how many are not in compliance, that they're just waiting on us to just call them up, or go to the door, to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, now we've talked about EMR, EHR, same thing, right? Electronic health records, electronic medical records, and this meaningful use thing. Basically, for those of you who are not up on that, it means the doctors have to move to electronic records. They got to get away from paper completely for them to qualify for some incentive money that the government has available, as Chris said. And if they don't, like he said, they're going to be charged. They're going to be fined. They'll actually start losing up to 5% of their revenue from Medicare and Medicaid in the next few years. So that is a very important thing, Chris. That and the new ICD-10 codes that are coming next year, those two are just the perfect storm, aren't they, for getting out there and finding doctors?
The perfect storm, and our system. Well, of course, as you guys will find out, we're already ICD-10 compliant. Our system's ready to go. It doesn't require an upgrade, or it doesn't. I mean, it's already ready. So
yep.
That's what makes ABS perfect for right now.
Yeah, it's all those codes are actually built into our system already, and you can actually help the doctors to figure out how to switch from the ICD-9 codes to the ICD-10 codes because they are built into our system. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have any training or background in coding. You didn't have any coding training.
Not at all. Now my wife has, but me, none. Not at all.
Yeah. And for those who, of course, don't have any, which most people that get into our business don't have any, we do have certified medical coders on staff that can help you with those kinds of things as well. Here's a good one from Anthony. He says, do you personally do data entry and deal with the claim discrepancies, or do you have staff to do that?
No, I have staff to do it. I'm going to defer that one to my team.
You're the CEO.
I am.
You don't have to deal with those kinds of things. Well, of course, some licensees do all the billing themselves. They do everything, and they deal with everything. But guys, when you can make $25,000, $30,000 a year from one doctor, and it doesn't take you, but maybe what would you say? One doctor might take you 10, 15 hours a week, Chris. I mean, it's not that involved, is it?
Yeah, not at all. From my billing manager, from what basically it'll take probably, depends on how many claims they do, but you're looking at probably about 7-8 hours. I would say, let's see. Yeah, I would say that's about right. You're talking about probably 8 to 10 hours a week for one doctor. Depends on how many claims that they're pushing through.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it literally takes what, maybe 2 minutes to complete a claim at the most.
yes.
So,
Oh, less than that, Patrick.
uh,
Less than that.
yeah.
So
Well, especially if they're a repeat patient, we already have all the data in there about the patient and their insurance. Then it's just a matter of putting in the date of the visit, a couple of codes, and you push a button and it's gone. Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Hey, Chris, Patrick on here, another Patrick, not me, is asking how they can reach you. I didn't even ask you about this, Chris, but would you be open to taking a call or two if we gave it through us? We'll let them contact us or their ABS rep, and then we'll give you whatever number you want us to give them. But would you mind taking a call from somebody?
Hey, I'm more than happy to fill the calls, guys. So glad to help.
Great. So, Patrick, just get back with the person who sent you the email for the webinar, and the rest of you can again contact your rep, and we'll put you in contact with Chris. He's a real guy, and he's really building the business. And so, Chris, thank you for being on here today. You've been very open about everything. Even though it took you a little while to get your first client, it sounds like you're up and running now and making some money. And so, uh, I think you've got a huge future in front of you, especially if you've got some reps out there. You should be overwhelmed here pretty quick.
And we are. And Patrick, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. And folks, really look at this. This is a wonderful opportunity, and the time is now. So anyway, Patrick, you got my info, right? So you can pass on.
You bet, Chris.
Oh,
Thanks again, and say hi to your wife for me.
hey, we'll do it. We'll do it. Take care.
All righty, bye for now. Now, folks, I'm going to
Bye bye.
answer a couple of other questions that are on the board here. Some people have asked some questions that really don't have anything to do with Chris here, so I just kind of saved them for the end here. But one of them is asking about, how do you charge for your services? And as Chris said, he's charging a fee each month, a certain fee. I think it was $600 a month. He got a $6,000 setup fee, which, by the way, that's entirely yours to do with what you need to do with it. We don't get any share of your setup fees, but on the back end, of course, we are given fees from our technology partners. So we make a few pennies on each one of the claims that are going through the system, but you never have to pay ABS anything after your initial licensing and training fee. And then, of course, our support goes on forever. You have a lifetime support with our company because we do make money on all your transactions. So we want you to be successful, and we want to support you in that. So that's how that works from a money standpoint. And let's see, is competition much of an issue for you? Alan asked. Like Chris said, I mean, he actually made the statement, folks, you don't have any competition in this business. Well, I mean, you do. The competition is really the doctors themselves that are doing their billing already. Look, they're either doing it themselves or they've already outsourced it to somebody else, right? So, how is it that our licensees are going out and signing doctors up? It's because we teach our licensees how to educate the doctors and ask the right questions to find out, whether they're really and truly happy. Like Chris said, his doctor already had outsourced it, but they weren't happy with the reporting and the rejection rate and all those other things. So there's lots of reasons why they'll switch from one outsourced to another. And then the other issue, of course, is if they're doing it themselves, they think they can do it cheaper, and you can prove it to them with some of our tools that we give you from their own figures that they are paying way more for handling that billing themselves inside their own office than they would if they outsourced it to somebody who specializes in billing. That's what you'll be doing for not just that doctor, but for several doctors. So you're a specialist, and therefore you can do it for a lot less money. I've known licensees who've charged 10% of the collected revenues. Depends on the type of doctor, of course, but the average is somewhere around 6 to 8%. That's usually where people are on their percentages. And Chris just happened to be a little low on that first one, I think. He even admitted that. But he's still netting. I mean, he's still making $25,000 a year from that doctor. So it's still not a bad deal. It's just that you always look back sometimes and go, oh, wished I'd charged a little bit more. You learn as you go along. That's just a process. Anthony's asking if the sales reps are trained on the products. Anthony, actually, we have training that you can point the sales reps to. We have a private licensee website, and we have videos and other documents and things on there that you can use to train those reps. So they can attend webinars and watch, recorded webinars that are on that site, and other ways of getting them up to speed. Listen, you find a good sales rep, and you don't have to teach them much. They know, they learn pretty fast. That's what they do for a living. Is find out how to market a product or a service. So it's pretty easy for them to do that. Christina says, if a licensee chooses to have staff, do they as well go through the ABS training? Christina, you probably wouldn't want to send your staff, to our live training workshop here, because we do talk to you, licensees, people who are business owners. And as an employee of yours, you wouldn't want them to know all the details. But we do have training, video training snippets out there on how to do the data entry and how to use our billing system. So literally hundreds of videos that you can give to your, your contractors to learn how they, how they can use the system step by step. Okay, I'm going to put up a different slide here, and I'll do that by telling you a little bit about our company. I'm going to get to the end here. I'm sorry, I just got to a slide here that I actually want to get to the bottom slide here. Let me see if I can get there. Yeah, one of the things we offer, folks, is our 100% money back guarantee. Now, this is pretty unique out there. I don't know of any other company that does this, but we'll let you come to our workshop, and for any reason, at any time during the week, you don't think this business is right for you, you simply tell any staff member, and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. That'll come up here in just a second. It's a little delay here on the GoToWebinar system. I can see here again because of our Wi-Fi here in the hotel. And that slide says we have our own clearinghouse, which is true. I had that from a previous webinar, but be sure and ask to watch the webinar on our system, the system itself, and we show a demo and we talk about the clearinghouse and all kinds of stuff on there. But the guarantee is for some reason not coming up on the screen. You can read that in the agreement. Ask your ABS rep for our agreement, and you can actually read that step by step in that agreement itself. Oh, now it decides to show the screen because I went back to my screen here. All right, so I will get back to the actual slide here. There we go. And I'm going to also go back to the next training is September 22nd to the 26th. Now, folks, believe me, these classes do fill up. That one is going to be more than full, probably. We're going to max that one out. It's easy to do that in September because, school's kind of started and out of the way and so forth, and all the vacations are over with. So if you're still doing your due diligence and still thinking seriously about getting involved in our business, be sure and get with your ABS rep and reserve a seat as quickly as you can in that. We also want you to know that we do these webinars on a regular basis every Wednesday at 3 o'clock Central Time. You can be on one of these webinars. We try to make them informative, sometimes interview existing licensees like Chris, so you can hear from people who've actually been through the training. But you can certainly attend as many of these as you want, ask all the questions you want. And if I didn't get to your question today, folks, I'm sorry. We just ran out of time. Be sure and get with your ABS rep and ask them. The number's at the bottom of the screen there. I'll leave that up here for a few minutes as we wrap up. Meanwhile, I hope I do see you at one of these training workshops somewhere in the near future. Thanks for being on the webinar today. Bye for now.